Humans of New York, Andrew. When I was 8 years old, my father left my mother and me. After that, he never showed up, called us, or at least sent me a Christmas or a birthday card. I have always loved movies, so one day when I was 12 years old, my mother took me to the cinema. It was back in 1998. We saw Airbud, Golden Receiver. I found the settings very interesting, and then I told my mother that I wanted to make movies when I grew up. I did not know anything about it, but I knew that that was what I wanted to do with my life. Then my mother told me that I would have to get into a college where they could teach one such things. It became my biggest dream, and I often sat in my room editing home videos. I could sit there for hours, and often my mother scolded me for not coming down for dinner when she yelled. In 2001, I lost my mother in the 9/11 terror attacks on the World Trade Center. She was working there for a lawyer as his secretary. I was 15 years old and I had just started high school and gotten on the school's video team. They were making a video yearbook. I made a promise to my mother that day. I promised her that I would get a college degree in filmmaking and that I would make a good life for myself. Here I am today. I'm 28 years old and I'm still living in New York City with my fiancée. She's trying to become an actress on Broadway. I work as an assistant editor on films and I'm trying to figure out how to move up to being an editor. In the future, I will be making the biggest blockbusters in the world, and my fiancée will be my wife, and we will have 3 children living on the Upper East Side of New York City. Michael. I've always been working. When I was a child, I think I was about 12 or 13 years old, I worked as a paper boy in our neighborhood. I used to get up at 5 or 6 in the morning to get through my round before school so that everyone had their newspapers by the time they were eating their breakfast. I did not make a lot of money, but I did not use a lot of it either. I was always saving my money. I never knew for what, but every Friday I would get some sweets to celebrate the end of the week. When I was 15, I started working for a diner. It was called Jackie's Diner. I was busting tables there all through high school, and I still had my paper runs. While doing all of this, I was getting good grades in school. When I graduated, I was on the honor roll. My mother thought I was working too hard, but my father always bragged about him being on the basketball team, working 2 jobs, and keeping a great point average when he was in high school. I always did take after him. I got into Harvard University, where I studied economics. At Harvard, I met Lucinda. She was a law student and the best in her class. We got married and we have 3 children together, 2 boys and a girl. Today, I'm 52 years old and I run a cloud computing business. It's 24/7 of demanding decisions. It is completely absorbing and can take your soul if you aren't careful. It's a great business, but I learned that the hard way. My business caused my marriage and a lot of quality time with my children. I did not have time for my kids' soccer games or dancing shows. I did, however, earn the money for my children to be able to go to whatever college they wanted. My daughter is getting married next month, and I will definitely be attending her wedding. I might not always have been there for my children as much as I should or wanted to, but I hope I can be a big character in my future grandchildren's lives someday.